everyone, it's Leanne. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. Today I am excited to share this simple, sweet birthday card with you. And this is using the Magical Birthday stamp set from Simon Says Stamp. So I have an A2 size folded card that I've cut, and then I trimmed off the bottom edge so that it would be a square card instead of a rectangle. And it will be top folded. I'm going to use some circle die templates. I picked these up at Michael's, where they sell the Sizzix in that section. I have these are called Ocean Wave Borders from Lawn Fawn. I'm going to use the middle one to create a template for doing my background. So I just used a piece of scrap paper to cut that out. And this is what the stamp set looks like, Magical Birthday from Simon Says Stamp. So I'm going to use Memento Tuxedo Black ink to stamp my stamps onto the cut out template. So I used the circle die to create the circle part of the template, and that's where my stamping will be. So I'm just doing this for placement. I have the acrylic block over the circle and I'm looking behind to see where things would land in the spacing, so that when I stamp my unicorn I make sure to leave enough space for the sentiment on the left. So getting this cute little guy into place, now I'm going to put the sentiment together and I'm going to stamp it as one. These sentiments aren't too big, so I can comfortably stamp them together and I don't have to worry about missing any edges or it not getting a clean impression. So I have that all lined up and just stamping it in place there. And so now I'm going to do the background. I'm going to come back with my template that I created with that Ocean Waves border die. And I'm using B21, which is a baby blue. It's called baby blue. It's a really soft light blue. And just doing little flicks of the brush up across the top of the template, and this is going to create clouds for my little unicorn to stand on. So to create more clouds, I'm going to use the same template and just reposition it. I'm going to angle it a little bit so it feels like everything's kind of drawing the focal point towards the center. So on the left, the clouds are angling down towards from the top left to the center, and then on the right side I'll do the same thing in reverse so that the clouds are angling from the top right down into the center. So that really draws your eye to the middle of the card. And so just using that same technique, super simple here, just light flicks of the brush off that edge. And so using the same technique, I'm going to come in with a pale pink and just run it along the edge towards the center, and this will be sort of emulating light rays or sunbeams, but I'm going to use pink because it's a unicorn and I just want everything to be kind of magical and creative, and it doesn't have to follow rules. I mean, you could use yellow here, but I decided to use pink. So this is super simple to do, just a light hand, just little wisps. And if you have some lines that are darker than others, that creates a little interest, so that's okay. It doesn't have to be all uniform. So for my unicorn, I'm going to color her purple, and I'm just doing a light wash with the BV000. And then I'll come in with BV01 after and create some shadows. Now this stamp set isn't too big in size, so I don't need to use a lot of colors to create dimension. I'm just using one shadow color and a base color. And I use my colorless blender here because I went outside the lines, and so you can use your colorless blender to pull the ink away from the line where it bleeds over, and it'll just dilute into the paper, and it's easy to erase that way, or it's like erasing. So here I'm coming in now and creating the shadows, and so my light source in my mind is on the top right, although technically the light source could be coming from behind, but then you would have the entire unicorn in shadow. So I did a top right sort of thought when I put down the shadows here. So everything is falling to the bottom left. So when I was thinking about making this card, I was trying to think of something that would be more of a simplistic card. A lot of cards I create are a little more involved, and I wanted to do something just sort of white and simple coloring. I haven't used Copic markers in a while. When I went on vacation, I did some watercoloring, and I've been exploring other mediums using pencil crayons and stuff. And so I really sort of missed my Copic markers. So I wanted to get back to coloring with them, and I wanted to do something that was more focused on coloring with Copics than it was creating layers or extra elements to a card. So that was sort of the thought behind, or the thought process behind creating this card and how that concept came about. So now I'm coloring the mane, and I want the mane to sort of all be the same color. I do have another unicorn card I created video using the same stamp set, and I will link that in the description below, or I'll put a little card as well. But in that one I used multicolor for the hair or the mane and the tail. So here I wanted to keep it sort of the same color grouping. So I'm using a teal color, and then I'm going to come in with a bluish color as well, sort of like a green blue, just to keep the hair all the same color, because we do have the unicorn a color, and then we have the clouds are a color, and the sky is a color, and so I don't want anything too crazy because we do have a lot going on already. But I thought this looked really pretty, just using this 2 sets of colors here. So those 4 colors on screen are the colors I used for the mane and the tail colors. So just laying down a base of each in the lighter color, and then coming in with a darker Copic marker that complements it and creating those shadows. And after I got done here, after I got done coloring the unicorn, I felt like it was missing something. And I'm not sure if you're the same, but whenever I see unicorns or think of unicorns, I always think of My Little Pony. And so I decided to come back in after and add some little speckles to her little bump or butt there, or hindquarter. I don't know what it's called on a horse or whatever the proper name is, but just adding some speckles. It just reminds me of little My Little Ponies, and they have the little symbols on their butt cheeks. So I thought that it would be cute to add some little dots or speckles for interest. And so I'm just darkening those up, and I'm using just a slightly darker purple to create these. And so now as a final touch, I'm coming in just to create a little cheek color. And I always put the cheek to the bottom right or bottom left, bottom side of the eye, wherever the eye is, just adding that to the bottom side. And so now to finish the card off, I'm going to come in with a blue Jelly Roll pen. And I am really enjoying coloring with Jelly Roll pens lately. I've been using them in trim and just decorative accents. I like the glitter that they have, and the colors they create are very vibrant. And so I decided to trim the edge of my circle part of my art, just to finish it off, give it a finishing edge, I guess. And I've been loving doing line work lately, just coloring a nice even line around the edge in on the cut side as well. It's very therapeutic for me. I don't know, I just really enjoy doing it, and I've done it on a couple cards recently, and I don't know, I like the effect, I like the look. I'd actually would like to go to Michael's and look at getting some more Jelly Roll pens. These are actually ones that I had from, I want to say high school. I've had these a long time, and they haven't dried out, so I have to say they're a good investment. They still work. But yeah, I just really enjoy coloring with these, and I like the effect they give. I felt that the blue was not too strong or of a contrast, and it pulled in the background color of the clouds, so it kind of harmonized everything. And so now, because this card is super simple and it's more just about the picture and the coloring, I decided that I'm going to put this on with foam tape just to add a little bit dimension, just a little interest here. But I wanted to keep it on white paper because I wanted it to be super simple and a nice clean card. Now, one thing I did do is, normally with my cardstock, I use more of an inexpensive cardstock for my backing because I usually attach an image over top and you don't see the backing. But because the back will show through, I use the same cardstock for both. So I'm using Nina Solar White cardstock for both the circle and the card itself. So now I'm just positioning this in place with my X-Acto knife. I have everything ready, and so just a final touch here. I can't finish this without a Wink of Stella brush pen in clear glitter. So I'm just dressing up the pony's mane and tail and a few little spots around. It's kind of tempting to want to color the whole thing. Glitter and unicorns, it's just, it all goes together. But here I just did the hair and then a few little spots on the unicorn. And I love this brush pen. I've had this about a year and it hasn't run out yet. Hopefully now that I say that it doesn't, but it's actually a really nice brush pen. It comes out really nice. It doesn't gob or get sticky or anything. So there you have it. Here is my unicorn magical birthday card using the Simon Says stamp set called Magical Birthday. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you're notified the next time I post a video. Thank you so much for watching.